State Senators Greg Taylor and John Ruckelshaus, from opposite sides of the aisle, are hoping to pass hate crime legislation in India, Monday, August 28, 2017. Robert Skier /Indistar. In a front-page article on November 8, 1946, the Indianapolis Star exposed the re-emergence of the Ku Klux Klan in India. Photo, Star Archives, newspapers.com. One of the big questions state lawmakers are considering as they gear up for the 2018 legislative session is whether to enact hate crime legislation. Supporters of such a measure often note that India is one of only 5 states without a law addressing penalties for crimes that target people because of certain characteristics, such as their race, religion or sexual orientation. But that wasn't always true. For 30 years, India had a hate crime law on the books that was used to target white supremacists and neo-Nazis. One India prosecutor even held up the law as a national model during testimony before Congress, boasting of its effectiveness in combating hate groups. But lawmakers quietly repealed the law in 1977, when it disappeared amid a broad overhaul of the state's criminal code. More, this India man is in the middle of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. More, Charlottesville fallout could push India to pass hate crimes law, legislators say. Today, the law is largely forgotten, relegated to newspaper archives, historic India code volumes and the memories of a few living Hoosiers. The old law differs significantly from what's being debated at the State House now, but the circumstances under which the law was passed are similar in many ways to those today. The difference is that lawmakers acted quickly and decisively then. Here's a history of India's 1947 Anti-Hate Act. Hate groups re-emerge. In November of 1946, the Indianapolis Star exposed attempts to reorganize the Ku Klux Klan in India and to launch a Hoosier version of the Columbians Incorporated, a Nazi-type political party. The activities of the revived KKK, which had once dominated India government in the 1920s, were reportedly directed by a secret 5 advisory council and based in Musi. The Columbians, meanwhile, were described as even more vicious than the KKK and had a simple membership pitch: do you hate Negroes? Do you hate Jews? Do you have $3? The flurry of hate group organizing activity, just a year after Nazi Germany's surrender in World War II, sent shock waves through the state. Reaction was swift. In a front-page article on November 11, 1946, the Indianapolis Star exposed a Nazi-type group called the Columbians Inc. Operating in India. Photo, Indianapolis Star Archives, newspapers.com. Calls for a new law then Gov. Ralph Gates immediately called for legislation to ban the groups. Disclosure that the Ku Klux Klan has again reared its ugly head of reaction, bigotry and police in India is sickening and repugnant to every right-thinking Hoosier, he said. The KKK in India must be Europed and stamped out for all time. A coalition of religious, business, veteran and labor groups quickly sprung up to support the legislation and in an editorial headlined "Banish Hate from the Heart," the Indianapolis Star endorsed any legal enactments which may handicap efforts to spread bigotry and racial animosities while noting that bitterness cannot be eradicated by legislative mandate. With little opposition, the measure passed both chambers of the General Assembly unanimously and Gates signed it into law in February of 1947.